Hello everyone, it's Lynn. I'm using the Goddess of Love Tarot to showcase for just, I don't know, visual effects today. But I want to talk about when tarot gets hard, okay? Because I had some cards in a spread, right? Let's just do this, okay? Something random, right? Right, okay. And I got to thinking, okay, I was reading in a spread and I started to get my anxious sensors were starting to go off, okay? Because in one of the positions, this one, the spread position title, I guess you could say, was this energy is going to unlock your greatest potential or something like that. Okay, so it was like a good response, right? And then I got the Eight of Swords. So I got to thinking, okay, now this could be in a reverse, a card in reverse too. I don't typically use reversals, so there's that. But the Eight of Swords came up, and I was like, okay, well, how is entrapment in any kind of way good? And for the spread specifically, I was thinking to myself, okay, so this one was spot on, this one was spot on, and then I got to thinking, okay. And then I got to this one, and I was like, this one's going to, like, of course, usually the last card in the spread is about the future, and it's about forward movement and things like that. Usually in good spreads, that's how they work, especially in longer spreads. But for this specific spread response, or question or title or whatever you want to say, was this energy is going to this is the good energy that's going to pull you out of whatever it is. But the Eight of Swords is literally the woman in the entrapment card. So I'm like, how is this helpful? Like, whatever this energy is supposed to be helpful. How is Eight of Swords supposed to be helpful? And my anxiety kicked on in the beginning of that, but then I realized you have to go vague. You have to get kind of vague with it, because if you don't, then you get stuck and you get kind of rigid with the card meanings. And for me, if this came up and it was like it's supposed to be a good spread, then I would think, okay, maybe I have to put myself into a situation, put myself into one of the other positions' situations, and stay there for a little while and ruminate for a little while and allow myself to be entrapped in that energy, right? Instead of it being negatively connotated, as of the Eight of Swords would normally be, or possibly even the Ten of Swords. And see, if this came up and, like, say this position before was an energy that you need to move away from, I'd be like, okay, the Ten of Swords, sure, all right. But then the next one is like, this one's going to get you out of that. It's like, okay, how? How? And it's about you letting go, right? Let's say you let something go, you're letting it die. But then the next one is you have to entrap yourself again. But it's about putting yourself in something new for a little while and ruminate on something that will kind of keep your focus, keep your focus on something that you could be good and immersed in. And that's a type of entrapment, but it's a good one. It can be good. It doesn't always have to be negative. Like, I have the keys to the handcuffs, I've just not unlocked myself. But sometimes you want to just be stuck there. It's not really the Chandler getting locked up by the boss, okay? It's not really what's happening. You want to be there because it's, smexy, right? But anyway, so the tarot can get hard because sometimes, like, say, we've got the Four of Swords here, right? And I'll sit there and I'll think, okay, well, what if this spread position or the title or whatever, I'm like, the question I've put for picking this card was, what do I need to do to, or an energy, how, or how can I do blank? And it's supposed to be an uplifting message, something that I can take with me for the rest of the week or whatever. And then I pull this, it's like, maybe this is just saying, we could vague it out and say, okay, well, maybe I'm still in rest mode. I'm just still in rest mode. That's it. I'm still in rest mode. I'm still in a mode where I can't necessarily move forward yet because I'm still kind of resting. And I still need to kind of stay in the cocoon, right? I'm still in the cocoon, and that has to be okay, right? But literally anything can come up for a spread, and sometimes it can make me feel kind of daunted. I mean, I don't know, we'll shuffle these and see what else comes up, right? Just a loose shuffle. But the tarot, I think at the beginning of my practice, I used to be a little bit more rigid with myself and rigid with the card meanings. And I'd be like, oh, this doesn't fit. This doesn't fit. How can I make this fit? And it would just kind of be like this. I would be trying to shove everything into their labels, into the boxes that I thought that they were in. But the tarot cards themselves don't have boxes. Not necessarily. I think that there's such a spectrum to every single one of the cards individually that it's really about how we're responding to that. And the way I've learned how to do that is with vagueness, not rigidity. And so, I mean, you can use any spread really for this, but see, I just shuffled all these, and see, I got here again, I got the Tower in this. How can I, this is an energy that will get me to the other side. Okay. But I got the Tower. This energy was going to get me, this is energy I need to move away from. And this is the energy that I need to move towards. Right. But how is moving towards the Tower supposed to be good? Right. Like you would automatically think that when it came up. And then you would probably, I know I've said this before, you might get to this thing where you're like, oh, well, I guess I'll just skip that because it just means it negates the question, right? Because the Tower has such an energy about it, then you kind of just skip over it and you don't go to that vague place, that symbolic place with it. You just kind of skip it and put it back in the deck and forget about this spread. And I like to sit with it and think, okay, how is the Tower something that I can move towards? And really, you can think of it cyclically as well, like what's before the Tower and what comes after the Tower. You can think, okay, well, maybe because it's something that I'm trying to move towards, maybe I'm in the Devil, right? I'm in the Devil. And I need to move out of the Devil, get away from him, and get away from whatever's chaining me up by him, and move towards something that it's going to, yeah, it might be painful, and I really don't want to go there, but I've got to get away from the Devil. And the only way out is through, so I've got to get through the Tower to get to the Star. And you can think of it cyclically like that. That's a vague way to go and think about the tarot in a total sense, right? And then, like this, the Witch of the Wands is something that I need to move away from. They're quite literally moving away from something. But they've got this flower, and they are riding their beast. They're riding this chariot out of whatever it is. So this is actually a good card for that. But this, you're like, okay, well, I guess this little beast, witch on the beast, is literally riding towards the Tower. What could that possibly mean? And you could narrate it in a way that would make the vaguest sense possible. Now, all of these cards actually look really, this is a good setup actually for me, because you've got the Hanged One here as the first position, and then you've got Lust, right? So you've got two major Arcana cards. So you're really into something. But then you've got the Eight of Pentacles, right? And it's the work involved, right? And you're like in this work mode, and then you read these sets of cards, the Sovereign, and you're thinking, okay, well, I need to have this more sovereign emperor-like mindset when I'm moving away and towards something, right? Let's just say, I can't remember the positions for this. But tarot can be hard because we try to become so rigid with the way we read, you know. Now, typically, I tend to go like 3 cards, right? But even if I did that, you know, we can do a past, present, future, or something. I don't know. Past, present. I like this because it's cups, right? And it's moving forward, ace to 2. Now that's a little bit of a jump, a little bit of a movement. But then you've got the 7 of cups, all cups. Wow, that's crazy. All cups. So, but there's a forward movement there. Past, present, future. May move slowly because it's not like any other suits. And it's not like I'm stuck in multiple energies, but I'm literally going in this way. And numerologically I'm doing that, but also I'm seeing the stages play out. Like I was here, I have been here in the present, and then I need to go, like the 7 of cups. Typically, I guess some people would say that the 7 of cups is like your fairy thoughts. You know, you're stuck in not knowing what to pick because they're all delicious. Okay, it's like looking at a menu. But I think that there's still a trajectory there, right, that plays out very well. But we're looking at the vagueness. You just look at the fact that the numbers are going up instead of backwards. Let's see. See, I like this too because the major arcana is in the middle, right? So you're in that right now, let's just say. Now, instead of looking at it trajectorily, you could look at it like mind, body, spirit. So instead of having a trajectory or like an expression of forward movement, this could just be mind, body, and spirit, like sort of a general assessment. And then 7 of Wands could be the mind, and then the Lovers could be the body, and then the Maiden of Cups could be the spirit. And see how that plays out. Vague it out. Now, if you're using someone else's spread, like the spread of the 6 cards that I was doing before, that tends to... It works for me with the people that I trust to make spreads. So if they've made spreads before and they've posted about their spread, they post their spread and then I do it, and then it typically always tends to be spot on, then I tend to trust that spread maker, if that makes sense. And this one was a spread maker that I respect and value in the community. So, but when this came up and I pulled the 8 of Swords, I wanted to be rigid. I wanted to be rigid with myself. And I didn't know what to do at first, you know, and I think we can kind of get stuck in the rigidity. But I want to get to a place where the tarot feels vague, and you can even do something like 5 cards, you know. And then 1 in the middle. 5 cards. Love, love, love when spreads happen like this, okay? Literally love when in the middle you get something really profound, okay? Like, and it acts like a target, right? And that's the bullet point. So the void here is the bullet point. Also love when the Fool comes up in the middles of spreads, because it just feels so relatory, but whatever, okay? So you've got a spread, whatever, don't even know the positions, and you're looking at it in a way that seems to help. But say for Judgment, you have that same type of thing. This card is your home card. This is where you need to be right now. This energy is what you need to lock into, and then you pull the Judgment, okay? And you're like, why am I locking into the Judgment card? Why am I locking into this? And instead of going to a guidebook or a book that tells you about tarot meanings, tarot divinatory meanings or whatever, just think about the card itself in such a very, very vague, like almost if you were looking at an abstract painting, what would you feel by looking at it? And vague it out. So automatically I look at this jewel, this jewel right here, possibly their seating position, and the fact that inadvertently this doesn't look like a Judgment card. There's no rapture, there's no way to say that this is like an offshoot of justice, you know, that this is your way of harboring judgment onto yourself. Okay, this is just a look inward. This is a look inward, and it's kind of, I sometimes think of the judgment card as like my worthy card. Am I worthy? We're not worthy. And it gets me in touch with, what am I doing now that I'm being, that I can be proud of, right? Like, am I involved in something that I'm ultimately going to be proud of for the rest of my life? Or am I just living in this kind of blind society way, right? I also like that when the aces come up first. See, sometimes I love this. Ace and two. Ace and two. I've used this deck a lot, so the fact that this is coming up like this, making me feel something. I like when the ace is first, but then look, there's the ace and then the two. Good trajectory, right? But then you come down here, you got two majors, right? So you've been locked in this, but then you come and you're moving into something a little bit more profound, right? More spiritual, more ethereal. And then you have the void in the center, right? Another major, but a major that has the vaguest of them all is the Fool card. This Joker, right? And so this is this would be a really good spread for me to journal and ruminate on. But they don't always work like this. Sometimes you get really, I don't know, sometimes you get some wonky ones. Let's see what we got here. Okay. 3 and 6. I like that. Again, clear trajectory. We're moving forward. The Chariot. Again, this is the bullseye inside this spread. I like that it's a major, but also like that it's the Chariot, which means it's going to come work. It's coming at us in a way. Then you have the 8 of Cups and 3 of Swords, right, to end. So we're like moving into these energies, I guess you could say. But it's like, if this position, or if both of these were future centered, then you could say, you know, these feel very sorrowful, right? These feel very, in an abstract way, they feel sorrowful. They feel like I'm moving towards something that I really don't want to deal with. I'm moving towards something that, you know, I need to be moving away from this, that, and the other, right? Like, I need to move away and cry about it and be sorrowful about it for a little while. But sometimes that catharsis, you might want to look at it, right? Like, you've been working on something. I would say that I've been working on something. Maybe it's a collaboration, but I need to move away from that and do something that I feel more comfortable in. But I'm still moving. I'm still moving towards that goal. But maybe it'll be sad for a while that I won't collaborate with blah, blah, blah anymore. Or maybe I'm giving myself to others too much. And it's going to be sad because I want to, but am I proud of that? Right? Same thing with the judgment. Am I proud of what I've been doing? Or is this selfless? Is this selfish? Right? Those are the words that I would use for stuff like that. Let's go back to the 6 one last time. Nope. Let me start over, because I think I don't want to get too confused. All right. Okay. All right. Okay, now we're back to the 6, right? Now, again, that last position of the 6 that I was, I guess, just talking about in the beginning was, this is what you need. This is the energy you need to focus on, right? And it's supposed to be like a good revelationary energy. Then I got the Witch of Swords. Now, I think this is the Knights, if I'm not mistaken, because I think she's renamed the Knights in this, well, most of the courts in this deck, but I think the Knights are the witches. And so the Knights of Swords. Again, I could look at the vagueness of what the Knight of Swords is trying to tell me, instead of focusing on the rigidity of like the meanings that I have memorized. So I'm moving away from the Ten of Pentacles, which like automatically I don't want to move away from that. Maybe I don't want to move away from that. Maybe I want to stay in this. But it's about this mindset. It's about, you know, shifting your mindset. Like, okay, again, you're moving away from this. This isn't negotiatory. This isn't a negotiation. You're like, you are moving away from this, and this is what's coming, and you need to latch on to that. And I don't know. Sometimes I think tarot can be really hard when we get rigid with it. But I don't know. What are some tips? You know, do y'all have any tips? Leave them below. Leave some tips below. Like this. 8 of Wands. See, 8 of Wands to me is about it is about swiftness for me a little bit because I'm a Thoth reader, but it's rigidity too. The 8 is about rigidity because it's 4 on 4. And then you have the Witch in the middle. I like having a Court in the middle in my 3s too, because then it feels like I'm focused in, right? And then the 6 is I'm moving away, right? But the Witch, being the Knight, okay, is good because I can use this energy to move away. So they acts like that, right? Like the past, present. But even if it wasn't, that's typically how I read. But if it wasn't, and it was just mind, body, spirit, then I think, okay, well, I'm moving towards different spiritual modalities. And the body is well, the pentacle suit being the bodysuit for me, I like that because it means I'm in the body and I'm taking stock of the body, taking inventory, if you will. And then the 8 of Wands, again, being rigidity, but also this kind of stability. Yeah, I would say that. For the mind, it's okay, that's what's happening. The mind is too stable, too rigid, and I need to get more in touch with the body a little bit, and I can explore a little bit. Go out and explore so that my mind opens back up. I don't know. Sometimes reading spreads is wonky for me, and I just wanted to share it with you guys. What do y'all do when tarot gets too hard? Hope everyone's having a great day. Much love.